I think many people would say, I have this pain, it's because I'm older. Is pain a natural part of aging? Like, can I not get away from it?
So there's things that you could do to get away from it. But I mean, again, just like your car ages and there's problems with it, there are things that you can do to improve that situation.
Okay, so what do you say to the person who says, I've never really exercised my whole life? There's no, I can't start now.
There's an old adage that I like. The best time to plant a tree is 20 years ago. The second best time is today. So while it would have been great for you to have started exercising when you were in your 20s, today's another great day to start exercising. And the best way to start exercising is, grab a friend. I mean, overwhelmingly people do exercise better, longer, and enjoy it more when they're doing it with a friend. And it doesn't have to be doing weights, going to the gym. You could just start by taking a walk around your neighborhood with a neighbor or a friend that's nearby.
Yeah, that's great. And I know that social aspect is really important when you're aging. Can you tell me about that? Like, how important is the social aspect?
Wow, we talk about, smoking, being deadly, decreasing your life expectancy, but loneliness can have as big an impact as smoking.
Yeah, what about the person who's older and their friends have died and they're feeling very alone? Like, how do you make that first step?
Unfortunately, again, things change in our lives. We have losses, especially as you get older. So it's important to stay connected. You can make new connections. You could join, I'm medical director for the Inspira Life program. We have people all the time that are making new connections. We've had a few people recently in their 80s that have gotten married because of connections they've made. So I think, it can be a little bit scary. Change is always a little bit unnerving, but, it just takes making that first step to making new connections.
That's awesome. Okay, so can we talk about appetite and food? Is it natural that your appetite would change as you age?
So there's a lot of different factors that are going to, cause your appetite to change. Dental issues, our taste becomes a little bit less sensitive, so we might require more spices. We tend to need to eat a little bit less during because of less activity. So our appetite and our intake does change as we get older. But there's things that we could do, eating smaller, more frequent meals. Again, eating with a loved one or family member or someone else, we tend to eat better. And then taking advantage of some of the things that are out there today that weren't there 20 years ago. We could have meals delivered to us. You
Mhm.
know, we could have, food services so that if we can't get to the grocery store, we could have stuff brought in. And then in our area, as you know, we have great resources with farmers markets. So that's a great way to bring things together, become social, walking, and get great food, that's local to us here in South Jersey.
That's a great idea. I never even thought of that. Okay, last question. What's one misconception about aging that is just not right?
I think the biggest misconception that I always battle as a geriatrician is that it's negative, inevitable, and there's nothing you can do. I mean, just in our little discussion today, we pointed out a few things that are easy to do that you could start tomorrow. You go into the farmer's market. And then we're living in an unbelievably exciting time with AI and the different technologies that are out there. I mean, years ago when I started to talk to my patients, you would get lost going somewhere. Now we have GPS. Or, they were afraid that if they couldn't drive, they would lose their independence. Now we have Uber and Lyft, drive services that you just have to have your phone and an app and can get you places. And in our Inspira Life program, we use something called Care Coach. It's an iPad-like device. We put in participants' homes and we could stay connected with them. Televisits, they could play games, and we're accessible 24/7. So there's lots of new emerging technologies, in this area that are available for us as we get older.
Awesome info. I love your perspective on aging. Thanks so much.
Oh, you're welcome.